Hello and welcome to the 2020 South Plains College Scholarship and Distinguished Alumni Celebration. Traditionally, we would be gathering together for an evening of fellowship and food at the college's annual scholarship banquet. However, circumstances will not keep South Plains College from expressing our heartfelt thanks to our donors and from celebrating our student scholarship recipients and our distinguished alumni. We thought it appropriate this year to bring the celebration to you. In this program, we will hear from several South Plains College students, some who are current and some who are our former students, all of whom are thriving, in part because of the excellent start they received at South Plains College. In fact, our first speaker is a South Plains College graduate, the recipient of our 2013 Distinguished Alumni Honor, and currently serving as our college president. Please join me in welcoming President Robin Satterwhite.
Good evening, and welcome to this fabulous scholarship event. I first want to thank everyone who helped make this evening possible. I especially want to thank Julie Gerstenberger, who helped transform one of our most celebrated scholarship events of the year from a face-to-face event to a virtual event. But regardless of the venue, we're so glad that you're able to join us. We're so glad that we get to celebrate you, our donors, and that we get to celebrate our students. Thank you for helping their dreams become realities. This is also a special time that we get to recognize our distinguished alumni honorees. Our distinguished alumni have certainly embraced the opportunity that South Plains College has provided them, and they've done great things with their careers. We're so glad that they're able to join us tonight as well. The theme this year is embracing opportunity. And I hope you noticed there was a quote by Albert Einstein on your invitation, and this quote says, "In the midst of difficulty lies opportunity." Now, this has been a difficult year for our college. It's been a difficult year for our community, and I know it's been a difficult year for many of you, and certainly for our students. However, even in spite of those difficulties, there lie so many opportunities. I want to thank you for helping transform those difficulties into opportunities for our students. I also want to point out on your invitation the beautiful artwork that was done by Christy Kristenek. Christy Kristenek is an assistant professor in our fine arts department, and she does fabulous work. And I want to thank her for her support of the invitation that was delivered to you and for this evening. In your programs, you will see hundreds of scholarships that are listed. Each one of these scholarships represents an opportunity for our students to change their dreams into realities. We want to thank you so much for your support. Thank you for being here this evening, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Good evening. My name is Juan Ortiz, and I am the freshman recipient of the Wheeler Foundation First to College Impact Scholarship. I have always dreamed of pursuing a job in the medical field, and so attending South Plains College is where I had to start my higher education journey. It is even written on the seal of the College of SPC, "Dreams precede reality." Growing up, my parents showed me that with hard work, anything is possible. I had my first job when I was 12 years old. I hoed cotton fields every summer until I was 17, where I was able to land a job at a manufacturing company in my hometown of Petersburg, Texas. I did my best to save my money, not only so I could participate in extracurricular activities, but also so I could attend college. You see, my parents have always instilled in my little sister's mind that an education is what will lead to a good life. This pushed me to not only become the best possible student I can be, but it also pushed me to make my parents proud. Now, I am blessed to say that I am the first generation to attend college in my family. I think that my parents are fantastic. Among many other positive traits, they are selfless and hardworking and have always known that their number one goal was to provide the best possible life for our family. In fact, it was not uncommon for my parents to work a second job in addition to their primary jobs. From tarping modules to cleaning offices, my parents did everything in their power to provide for my little sisters and I. I am blessed with a very supportive background where my parents made sure I had everything, so I only had to worry about getting an education. Imagine how happy I was to tell my parents I had received an SPC scholarship. I got a gift, and it is one I am able to also give to my parents. It makes them so proud that I have been trusted with scholarship money because my donors believe in me. To my scholarship donors and all of you other donors, I am a great example of how your gift benefits so many people. Because of donors like you, I and hundreds of other students like me have a very bright future. Thank you.
When you set your roots in good old Levelland, Texas, you know you have a solid foundation. The cornerstone of Terry's foundation is simple: faith, family, and friends. And growing up, these values are what pushed Terry to perform to his highest potential. As a first-generation college student, Terry knew that pursuing an education would open the door to many new and exciting opportunities, and he was prepared to embrace them fully. Terry said that although many times he did not know where his path was leading him or what was in store for his future, he always walked by faith and let God lead him on his journey. And it was on that path, led by his faith, that brought him to South Plains College. During his time at SPC, Terry continued to build upon his foundation with professors like Bob Beck, Jim Leggett, and Richard James. Terry continued to work toward his goals and follow his passions. It was at South Plains College where he was given 2 nuggets of wisdom that he said have stuck with him throughout each step of his life. Keep an open mind and learn how to learn. From that moment on, he knew that with each step he took throughout his academic and professional careers, he would stay positive and embrace each opportunity presented to him. While he had originally planned to attend medical school, following his time at SPC and Texas Tech University, his career path changed after a discussion with a family friend, Mr. David Miller. Remembering the wisdom that was shared with him just a few years earlier, Terry embraced this new opportunity presented to him and began his professional career in medical distribution. Although he did not know where this new journey would lead him, Terry gave his full effort in everything he did. During his career, Terry held many positions, and in each role, he made it a point to leave the position better than how he found it. Growing up across the street from South Plains College, Terry did not know what all could await for him away from the safety of his hometown. But he did know that with his strong roots and support system, a firm faith in God, and with wonderful friends by his side, he would be able to overcome any obstacle he may face. Although he is now far away from the West Texas wind, Terry's roots are still planted here at home, and he continues to credit his success to his faith in God, South Plains College, and the family and friends who helped him along his journey. Please join us in welcoming home our 2020 Distinguished Alumnus, Mr. Terry Hill.
Hi, my name is Terry Hill, and I really appreciate this Distinguished Alumni Award. I want to first of all thank everybody at South Plains College, the leadership, the staff, the faculty, for this award. It's been a great honor for me. And when I think back at this award and what it means to me, I really kind of think about two words, access and opportunity. So when I graduated from Levelland High School, and I was looking at what would be my right next step from an educational standpoint, just South Plains College just coming back was the right choice for me. And now, over 40 years later, looking back, it was a great choice for me because, again, like I talked about, the two words that brought to my mind was access and opportunity. And so when I was growing up and, I didn't have a lot of funds, I didn't have a lot of ways to go to a lot of different educational choices, but South Plains College was really the right one for me because, one, it gave me an opportunity to really learn how to learn. And through that opportunity, graduating with an associate's degree, it gave me the next opportunity or an access into a 4-year degree at Texas Tech, which then allowed me to start my career in the business world. So as I look through my career, kind of each step along the way, one step led to a next step. So whether it was a salesperson or a sales manager or region manager, and then ultimately got to run our U.S. business, got to run a global business, and now working in another global company as well. It's been a really nice opportunity for me. And again, when I go back and I think about the mission and the value of South Plains College, it is giving other people that access to an opportunity that they may not be able to do on their own. So whether it's the vocational training or other types of educational opportunities, South Plains really does provide an opportunity. And if you do well and you work hard and you become excellent, then you get the next opportunity. And when I think back at some of the things that South Plains that I learned that have kept in practice now for 40 years in my career was, do your best with the opportunities you're given. Utilize the talents God's given you to the best you can. And really, I learned some of that at South Plains College. And so I really appreciate the acknowledgement of this award. But really what I want people to think about is not me, but again, the mission of South Plains College. Had it not been for the staff and the faculty there that took me under their wing, taught me how to continue to learn, which I do today, that you just need to always be learning and take advantage of the opportunities that you're given. And when you think about this award, that's what I think about, is the mission and the values of South Plains College, really to provide people an access to education so they can become better, and then the opportunity for them to create value for their families and create value in the workplace. Because I do think the definition of work is to create value. We work to create value for our families, and then we owe that to create value in the marketplace for our companies. And really, South Plains College was the start of that for me, giving me the access to education, giving me the opportunity, to let me be, to receive this award today. So again, this is, part of the scholarship banquet and part of the things, if you don't, one of the things I think is important to always give back, and I couldn't think of a better place to give back, really to provide that access and opportunity, to the next generation. So again, thank you for this award. It means a lot to me. But again, thank you to the South Plains College for its mission. Thank you very much.
From the big city of Brownfield, Texas, to the rugged terrain of Mount Everest, Theresa Reed always knew what it meant to apply herself to reach her goals. Never saying no to an adventure, Theresa began her academic journey at South Plains College just 4 days after exchanging her vows with her high school sweetheart, Jim Reed. Although she said many people may not have thought that the journey of a young married woman would lead her beyond the West Texas plains, she was always determined to accomplish her dreams and destiny of being a strong, educated woman. After all, her father had already set her up for success when he selected her name. Theresa said her father knew that she was meant for something more, and that's why he gave her the unique name, because it was the name of an educated and determined woman. And in all that she did, Theresa gave her full effort and certainly lived up to the name selected by her greatest role model and biggest supporter. After a successful academic career, after obtaining her associate degree from South Plains College, as well as a bachelor's and master's degree from Texas Tech University, and later a Texas license as a certified public accountant, Theresa set her sights on the next step of her adventure and began her professional career. What began in electronics and technology soon turned into a pathway to healthcare. And throughout this new stage in her journey, Theresa always kept an open mind and an open heart to embrace each new opportunity and challenge presented to her. In each role she had, she always kept these things in mind: work hard, apply herself fully, and work diligently to accomplish her goals. She certainly accomplished many wonderful achievements, as you can see in your program this evening. And after a successful career in West Texas, she embarked on another grand journey and made the move to California. The change of scenery was just what the doctor ordered. After 3 years in the Golden State, Theresa embraced her newest opportunity and currently serves as an administrator at Shriners Hospital for Children in Portland, Oregon. The perfect place for a woman with a determined mindset and an adventurous heart. Now, remember that little bit about Mount Everest? That wasn't just a metaphor. Although Theresa's career can often be hectic, she and her husband Jim always make time for an exciting journey. Theresa has found herself in some wonderful adventures, including Mount St. Helens volcano and, yes, even Mount Everest. Theresa knew her hard work, determination, and adventurous heart would lead her to wonderful places far beyond Brownfield. And tonight, we are thrilled and honored to welcome back our 2020 Distinguished Alumna, Theresa Reed.
Good evening. It is wonderful to be joining the South Plains College faculty, donors, students, and special guests. If anyone asked a few decades ago to predict how my life might turn out, they might have said, well, she decided to get married at 18, and in high school, she decided that she could make the same grades by attending class only 3, maybe 4 days a week. And her math teacher told her once in front of the entire class, Theresa, if you would consistently apply yourself, you might make better grades in algebra. But more than once throughout my life, someone had a vision for me greater than what I had for myself. Throughout childhood and even today, that person is my father, Jess Chedister. My name, often misspelled and mispronounced, was carefully selected out of his college annual. Why Theresa? Because it was the name of an educated woman. A week after getting married, I began commuting 70 miles round trip from Brownfield, Texas to South Plains College. I remember during freshman orientation, we were given a lengthy interest test. Back in the days when you had to use a number 2 pencil and color all the bubbles on the Scantron form. Weeks later, the test results arrived. One area that was off the charts was high adventure. Less than a year later, we were watching Mount St. Helens volcano erupt on national television. This seemed like the closest I would ever be to high adventure. Fortunately, business and law showed a moderate interest as well. I kept this interest test in my filing cabinet for years. South Plains College counselors really cared about helping me explore my personal interests as well as tap into my career potential. As I began my freshman year, I knew it was time for me to get serious about becoming an educated woman. One of my first English themed papers in Mrs. Boggs' class, I wrote about why there were not more women in the professional world. I received an A on my my opinionated theme paper, but more importantly, I remember the smile when she handed me back my graded paper. Today, on my office bookshelf, I still have the college grammar textbook from her class. Judgment Day seemed to be on its way as I arrived in Mr. Mixon's math class my sophomore year. My lack of consistency in the high school algebra was not going to be a simple refresher in college. Mr. Mixon taught and treated us with high expectations. For the first time, I made certain that I was consistently applying myself and making good grades in math. Toward the end of the semester, we were learning calculus, and perhaps I could do more. I'd heard from some friends about Mr. Dunn's accounting class, who soon introduced me to the world of debits and credits, assets and liabilities. Now I could see how this might turn into a skill that could be used anywhere that I might live. Maybe someone could use an accountant in Brownfield. Thanks to professors like Mrs. Bogg, Mr. Mixon, and Mr. Dunn, their commitment reached me at a point in my life that could have taken a very different path. They had each had a vision for me as a student beyond what I could see in my very young life. The story didn't end like many may have assumed. Well, she got married at 18 and the end. No, it was chapter 1 of the beginning of my adult life that led to becoming a certified public accountant and ultimately a healthcare executive. South Plains College scholarship donors are very special people because their gift sends a message to you as a student and a scholarship recipient that they believe in you and your future potential in life. Their gift says to you, this is the beginning of opportunities that if you embrace them, your life will unfold beyond what you can imagine today. You are probably wondering if that South Plains College entrance test that indicated high adventure was correct, or was it just some fluke? On a hot day last August, I summited the crater rim of Mount St. Helens volcano. Earlier that year, in March of 2019, I climbed to Everest Base Camp, spending 3 days in a snowstorm. The entrance test foreshadowed many great adventures beyond the world that I could ever imagine. And thanks to Mrs. Boggs' English class, I am writing about those journeys. I am deeply honored by the Distinguished Alumni Award and grateful for the impact that South Plains College has had on my life. Thank you.
I am Willard Norman. I am embracing this great, lovely moment at South Plains College to further my career in the culinary field. And it's been a blessing, and it's going to be a great part of my life, the rest of my life. I grew up in Millshoot, Texas, on a farm. Went to Millshoot High School. I graduated there. I had a scholarship to Soil Ross in bull riding. I turned it down to join the Marine Corps. I served in the Marine Corps for 10 years. I never did any overseas duty, thank God. I was born out stateside. I was very young and very excited about serving my country. Well, I've been cooking since I was a little kid. Watching my mother do it, my aunts, my grandmother, and I always told my wife them, hey, this is something that, it's a calling. I had an opportunity to go to culinary school several times online, but I wouldn't go, and I kept saying, Lord, please put a culinary school here in Lubbock. And 2 years ago, praise the Lord, man, here we are at South Plains College. And the culinary department here is great. We have wonderful staff. The chef, Chef Ramsey, Chef Reed, Chef Curtis, Chef Asuna, they all are willing to help. They go an extra mile to ensure that you are learning what you're supposed to learn here. I have learned quite a bit about temperatures and what types of meat, about purchasing, leveling of cakes, and how to do all of these things that I took for granted when I was coming up. Thought, oh, I can cook, but it's totally different. And I have my young son here, Tyrell, that is going to culinary school, us together, praise the Lord. A double blessing.
I was sitting on the bed one day and He was like, hey son, you can either get a job, go to school, or you go to the military. So I took the two options I had, a job and go to school. My plans after graduation, I want to open up a rib shack. I like experimenting with different liquors and different types of ribs. And that's what I mainly cook every weekend, so.
I have learned a lot being in the food truck business. Storming Norman smoke sandwiches. I figured when God blessed me to put this truck together, I thought, well, let's put all this in one little package here to where if it's raining, I can cook. If it's snowing, I can cook. If it's a dust storm, I can cook. If there's no fire burn here, I can still cook. And so I've been blessed, and it's been an adventure. It's been an adventure. I would like to thank all the donors out there. May God continue to bless them to help unfortunate people in all walks of life that is unable to afford to go to college. Nursing, cooking, being a welder, being a construction person, being a medical assistant, doctors, lawyers. It helps. It helps them fulfill their dream in life. Those are the ones that, hey, that I can do it, but I don't have the funding. But thanks to people, the donors, that understand that education is important to all walks of life. There's a lot of people as fortunate as I am to have that opportunity to go to college without having to pay it back. So I want to thank them. May God continue to bless them, and they continue to bring light and opportunity to someone else's life.
Thank you for spending some time with us to celebrate our scholarship donors, recipients, and our distinguished alumni honorees. We hope you have a greater insight to how much scholarship support means at South Plains College, and we thank you for the many ways you support us every day.